In the previous lecture, we have studied about female reproductive system, which consists of these two ovaries, a pair of ovaries. Secondly, it consists of fallopian tube. This is one side, this is second side. So a pair of fallopian tube. The third one is the uterus, and the next one is called as vagina. These are the internal reproductive organs. Then external genitalia, which is also called as vulva. Then a pair of vestibular gland and a pair of mammary gland constitute the reproductive system in case of females. We have studied all these things before in the previous lectures in detail. Now we are going to study the further parts, and for this we should know some important points. So this way we are going to study under the points to be remembered. So what are the points which are important from examination point of view, can be asked under MCQ or answer in one sentence. Under this, the first one, the process of oogenesis. What is oogenesis? It is the process of ovum formation. It starts much before the birth of female baby. So before birth only process of oogenesis starts in case of female. By the end of 12 weeks of the ovary is fully formed. That means when the female baby is in the mother's womb and completed its development of 12 weeks, at the time this ovary is fully formed, and it consists of about 2 millions of primordial follicles in the ovary. Of these 2 millions of primordial follicles, 1 million is get destroyed and only 1 million will remain till birth. And after that, only 40,000 remains at the time of puberty. So see the points properly, note it. Important points are this. So at the time of puberty, only 40,000 primordial follicles will remain inside the ovary. What is the meaning of word puberty? It is the phase or the stage of life cycle when the reproductive organs becomes functional. So at reproductive maturity, only 40,000 primordial follicles remain inside the ovary. Then, as we have seen that large number of primordial follicles are there, and of this only 40,000 left, remaining all are get destroyed. So this large scale destruction of primordial follicle is called as atresia. Remember the term atresia. For what? It is destruction of primordial follicles. We will see in the diagram also what are these primordial follicle and all. The development of primordial follicles into the Graafian follicle restart at onset of puberty. That means till puberty this primordial follicle remains as primordial follicles only. Once the puberty is there, that means the reproductive organ becomes functional. At the time this primordial follicles are converted into the Graafian follicle. During each menstrual cycle, one primordial follicle develops to form Graafian follicle. What is this menstrual cycle? It is the female reproductive cycle, which shows cyclical changes inside the ovary, inside the uterus, and some hormonal changes also takes place. So during each menstrual cycle, that means during each reproductive cycle, one primordial follicle develop and it becomes a Graafian follicle, that means becomes a matured follicles. Now see here these two terms are mentioned, menarche and menopause. What does it mean? Menarche is the beginning of first menstrual cycle, which is normally at the age of 13. So in case of human female, the reproductive cycles begins normally at the age of 13, and this beginning of menstrual cycle is called as menarche. Then menopause. Pause means stopping. So at the age when the menstrual cycle stops is called as menopause, and generally it stops at the age of 45 to 55. It is variable in different individuals. So menarche when the beginning of menses is there and menopause is the stopping of menses. So the age between, or we can say the lifespan between the menarche and menopause is the reproductive age of human female, and it is approximately 32 years. So remember, reproductive age of human female means the period between menarche and menopause, and it is generally 32 years. And in these 32 years, when the reproductive organs are functional, what will be the number of eggs produced? It will be 32 multiplied by 13. That means in 1 year 13 eggs are released, 13 ovum are released. So it is multiplied by 32, which is the reproductive age of human female. So we can say that near about 1416 eggs are produced by a human female, which are functional one. So this is about the points to be remember, can be asked in MCQ or answer in one sentence. Now we are going to study about structure and development of ovary. We'll see the diagram first and then I'll show you these points. Okay, so the diagram for ovary. This is the diagram for ovary, its transverse section. See this ovary, it consists of here this lining which is called as tunica albuginea, and outer to tunica albuginea there will be a layer of germinal epithelial cells. So remember, in case of ovary, germinal epithelial cells forms the outermost lining of the ovary. Inner to that there will be presence of tunica albuginea. Now this inside internal matter of the of the ovary is divided into two parts. This outer region where this developmental stages of ovum is seen, it is called as cortex. So this part where the cursor is moving, this is called as cortex, and this inner part is called as medulla. This middle part, it becomes the medulla. Now as I said, this cortex, it consists of various stages of development of ovum. What is present in the medulla region? This medulla region, it consists of connective tissue, blood vessels and nerve fibers. Now we will continue with this cortex region. What are the different stages of development of ovum here? See these structures, this smaller one and this one, it is called as primary follicle, which contain oocyte and begin producing sex hormone called as estrogen. So all these are this internal space, cell-like structure which is there, this will becomes the primary oocyte. And this surrounding follicular cells, these red color cells here also, these are the cells, follicular cells which are concerned with secretion of estrogen, as we have studied before also in hormonal coordination. So these primary follicles under the influence of FSH undergoes the developmental changes and it becomes secondary follicles. These secondary follicles contains secondary oocyte and produce hormone estrogen, and here it produces estrogen only, not progesterone. Okay, so secondary oocyte, secondary follicle with secondary oocyte, this is the secondary oocyte surrounded by these layers of follicular cells, become secondary follicle with secondary oocyte secreting estrogen, not progesterone. Then under the developmental changes, this secondary follicle is get converted into Graafian follicle, which becomes the matured follicle. Once the Graafian follicle is totally developed, is fully formed, this wall of the ovaries get burst open and this oocyte which is present inside, it is released into the abdominal cavity. Remember that in the development of ovum, this primary oocyte, here this is the primary oocyte, it completes its first maturation division and it becomes secondary oocyte. Here also it is present in the form of secondary oocyte. So during the process of ovulation, that means release of ovum into the abdominal cavity, it is present in secondary oocyte stage. So ovulation takes place, secondary oocyte is released. After this remaining follicular cells they form a structure which is called as corpus luteum. This corpus luteum is secondary endocrine source. For what purpose? For production of female sex organ hormone which is called as progesterone. So remember, corpus luteum is formed from the remaining follicular cells and it becomes secondary endocrine source for the secretion of progesterone. If the released ovum, if this ovum is fertilized, then corpus luteum will maintain itself and will secrete a hormone progesterone. This is one of the condition. What is this? That is fertilization. If this ovum is fertilized, then corpus luteum will maintain itself to secrete progesterone. What is the second condition? If this released ovum is not fertilized, then corpus luteum will convert it into corpus albicans. It is written that corpus luteum degenerates. That means corpus luteum is get converted into white scar of tissue which is called as corpus albicans, and because of that level of progesterone will falls down. Okay, so you have to remember about this anatomical structure of the ovary, that is this is transverse section of ovary, and these all details you have to remember properly because all this will be required in the further understanding. So if ovum is fertilized, corpus luteum will maintain itself and will secrete a hormone progesterone. If this ovum is not fertilized, corpus luteum is converted into corpus albicans and level of progesterone will falls down. Okay, we will see all these points theoretically what we have seen in the diagram. So structure and development of ovary. As I said, this ovary consists of outermost layer of germinal epithelium, and next to that there will be presence of tunica albuginea. What is tunica albuginea? It is a layer of connective tissue present inner to germinal epithelium. As we have seen in the diagram, once again I will show you the diagram. There will be layer of germinal epithelium and outer to this there will be, inner to this germinal epithelium there will be tunica albuginea. So anatomically ovary consists of two parts. It consists of two parts, outermost layer of germinal epithelium and inner to that there will be tunica albuginea. Then as I said, ovary consists of outer cortex, inner medulla. Cortex shows masses of cells which is called as ovarian follicles. And these ovarian follicles develop from cells of dorsal ectoderm of the yolk sac. This point you have to remember, can be asked in MCQs. Okay, so develop from what? Ovarian follicles develop from cells of dorsal ectoderm of the yolk sac. We will see further. These ovarian follicles divide mitotically and form oogonia. It grows and surrounded by layer of granulosa cells, which is the rudiments of ovarian follicles. Then cells of germinal epithelium give rise to oogonia, which project into the cortex in the form of cord called as egg tube of Flügger. Okay, so these points you have to remember just simply for the MCQs or answer in one sentence. Then the cord which is get formed, it consists of rounded mass of oogonial cells which is called as egg nest, from which primordial follicle develops, and each primordial follicle consists of primary oocyte in the center which is surrounded by follicular cells, as we have seen in TS, in the diagram of 2TS. Medulla shows connective tissue which is also called as stroma, blood vessels and nerve fiber. All these structures we have seen in the diagram also. So the egg tube and the egg nest, these are the terms which you have to remember. This is the egg nest and the egg tube. All are seen inside the ovary, and the medulla, it consists of connective tissue. This connective tissue is called as stroma, which consists of blood vessels and the nerve fibers. we are going to see the next part, that is histological structure of ovary, which consists of various stages of development of oocyte. As we have seen, primordial follicles develop into primary develops into secondary, and secondary follicle develops into the Graafian follicle. Then each primordial follicle have multi-layered cuboidal follicular cells, and the layer of theca is added from stroma cells around primordial follicle, and it becomes secondary follicles. What are these terminologies we have studied? See here, these are the primordial follicles having this primary oocyte inside. It is surrounded by these follicular cells. It will become multi-layered, and after some times here this cavity start forming, and this layer of theca externa and theca interna, it is added from the tissue of stroma. This is the stroma. This stroma is responsible for development of this covering, which is called as theca. So these are developmental stages of ovary. Once the Graafian follicle is fully formed, it is this wall of the ovaries get burst, and this ovum is released into the abdominal cavity. Process is called as ovulation. Remaining follicular cells forms the corpus luteum, which secretes the hormone progesterone. If ovum is fertilized, this corpus luteum will continue to develop, otherwise it will degenerate to form corpus albicans, and level of progesterone falls down. So this is about TS of ovary, and we can say histology of the ovary. Question of 3 marks can be asked on this part, or many of the MCQs can be framed on this part. Now we have to study about structure of Graafian follicle. What is this Graafian follicle? You can see the diagram. In this diagram here, the layers from the external side we are going to study. Outermost layer is called as theca externa. Inner to that there is theca interna, and inner to theca interna there will be presence of this membrana granulosa. It is called as granulosa cells, which form a layer called as membrana. You can see here this is a duct-like structure. It is a stalk-like structure. This stalk-like structure is called as cumulus oophorus. And to this here this secondary oocyte is attached, which is actually going to be ovum after the process of fertilization. This ovum is surrounded by the vitelline membrane. Then there will be a layer of zona pellucida, and outer to the zona pellucida this is the layer of corona radiata. So this is the structure of Graafian follicle. We have studied before. This theca externa and theca interna, the layer of theca is added by the stroma cells. The cavity which is formed here between the oocyte and this granulosa layer, this cavity is called as antrum, which is filled with a fluid which is called as liquor folliculi. And this ovum, that is in the form of secondary oocyte, is attached towards the one side. It is not present in the center, and hence it is called as eccentric structure. Remember that this is eccentric, that is not present in the center. You can see the points for Graafian follicle now. See, we have studied that this Graafian follicle consists of eccentric secondary oocyte. What is the meaning of eccentric? Not in the center. It is surrounded by a layer called as zona pellucida, which is a non-cellular layer. Non-cellular means cells are not present in the layer. It is a jelly-like material. Then the zona pellucida is surrounded by a vitelline membrane. Then it has outer covering called theca externa. Inner to this is theca interna, and inner to theca interna there will be a membrana granulosa. Then from membrana granulosa cells, from this layer of membrana granulosa, some cells differentiate into discus proligerus and corona radiata, as we have seen in the diagram. Then cumulus oophorus is the term used for oocyte and surrounding granulosa cells, and the cavity called antrum lies between the oocyte and membrana granulosa, which is filled with liquor folliculi. So once again we will see the cumulus oophorus. Which is the cumulus oophorus? It is the oocyte and surrounding granulosa cells. So this is the oocyte. This structure is called as oocyte, and surrounding granulosa cells along with membrana granulosa will becomes the cumulus oophorus. Okay, so this is about structure of Graafian follicle. Diagram can be asked for 2 or for 3 marks. With description also can be asked for 5 marks. So prepare properly this diagram. Later on we are going to study about the process of oogenesis. What's the meaning of oogenesis? It is the process of ovum formation. We have studied about the spermatogenesis before. What is the meaning of spermatogenesis? It is the process of sperm formation. What is the meaning of oogenesis? It is the process of ovum formation. Spermatogenesis takes place in the seminiferous tubules of the testes. Where oogenesis takes place? It takes place inside the ovary. We have seen about the TS of ovary just now. So inside this ovary, this process of oogenesis takes place. Like spermatogenesis, process of oogenesis also consists of 3 phases. And these 3 phases are, the first one is called as multiplication phase. You can see here, this is the multiplication phase. Second one is called as growth phase, and third one is called as maturation phase. What are this? We'll see the first one, multiplication. What does it mean? Number of cells goes on increasing, which involve mitotic or the equational division. So we are going to start with the first one, that is, it is written here PGC. What's the meaning of PGC? These are the primary germinal cells. These primary germinal cells, which are diploid in number, having 2n number of chromosomes, undergoes mitotic division. So 2 cells are formed. Again these 2 cells undergoes next mitotic division, and from these 2 cells, these 4 cells are formed called as oogonia, which are diploid, having 2n number of chromosomes. So simply in this stage, mitotic division takes place, number of cells multiply. That means large number of oogonia are formed, and this is called as multiplication phase. Here it is written that it involves mitotic division. Second phase is called as growth phase. See, during this phase, this oogonia, some of the oogonia stop dividing and it enlarge in size. So this large cell which is get formed from the oogonia is called as primary oocyte. It is primary oocyte, which is also diploid, having 2n number of chromosomes. In this, the stage of primary oocyte, it consists of cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus and mitochondria. Their number goes on increasing because the energy required is provided by mitochondria. Protein required for the growth and development will be produced by the endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. So these cell organelles are also increasing in number in the primary oocyte. Then this primary oocyte, it undergoes third one, which is called as maturation phase. This maturation phase involves division, which is called as meiosis. So meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 are the divisions. So we'll see first this primary oocyte, it completes first maturation division, which is called as meiosis 1, and it is actually reductional division. And because of that, this primary oocyte, it divides to form 2 cells, one of the larger cell called as secondary oocyte, and other smaller one is called as first polar body. Remember that division of primary oocyte is of unequal type. Unequal means what? One of the larger cell and other smaller cell is get formed. Larger cell is called as secondary oocyte and smaller cell is called as first polar body. Generally, first polar body do not undergoes the second meiotic division. It is shown, but normally it do not undergo the division. Okay, now see secondary oocyte, which is a haploid structure. This haploid structure undergoes second meiotic division. Go here on both the sides, that means polar body and the secondary oocyte also undergoes second maturation division and results in formation of a large cell which is called as ovum, and a small cell again becomes polar body. This first polar body also divide and form 2 more polar bodies. So here 3 polar bodies are formed, which all are haploid and will degenerate later on. So in the process of oogenesis, from one primary oocyte only one ovum is developed. Remember that in the process of oogenesis, This secondary oocyte, it undergoes second maturation division only after the entry of sperm. That means only after the entry of sperm. Okay, so this is for the maturation division. So this secondary oocyte, it completes first division, that means up to metaphase 2. Here this secondary oocyte, it will complete second maturation division only after the entry of sperm. So this is about the process of oogenesis. Once again I will repeat it. This PGC means primary germinal cell diploid undergoes first multiplication phase, which is of mitotic type, hence large number of oogonia are formed. Of this many oogonia, some stop dividing and undergoes growth phase, becomes primary oocyte, which is a diploid structure. This primary oocyte undergoes first maturation division, which is of reductional type. Here it is unequal type of reductional division is there. One of the large cell is get formed called as secondary oocyte. Other one small, which is called as first polar body. This secondary oocyte and first polar body enters second maturation division, forming ovum and polar bodies. So these three polar bodies are formed, which will get degenerate, and only one ovum, which is functional, is get formed. This is the process of oogenesis. And in case of spermatogenesis, if you remember, from one primary oocyte, from one primary spermatocyte, 4 functional sperms are formed. And in case of females, in the process of oogenesis, only one matured ovum is get formed. What to remember here? Normally, first polar body does not enter meiosis. This is the first polar body which does not enter meiosis. The secondary oocyte proceeds meiosis 2 only up to metaphase 2. Which one? This secondary oocyte. It proceeds meiosis 2 only up to metaphase 2, and further division is stopped at this stage. At which stage? At metaphase 2 stage. And the further division will proceed only after the entry of sperm, that is only after the fertilization. Okay, so this is all about the process of oogenesis. Remember, this process of oogenesis can be asked for 3 marks. 3 stages are there, so it can be asked for 3 marks. May possible that difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis will be asked. Later on, we have to study about structure of unfertilized egg or structure of ovum. So this is the diagram for unfertilized egg or the ovum. We'll start from the internal side, from here. You can see this cytoplasm is visible along with this nucleus. This nucleus is called as germinal vesicle, which is surrounded by cytoplasm. This cytoplasm is surrounded by a membrane which is called as vitelline membrane. Here this dark colored structure membrane is seen, which is called as vitelline membrane. Around vitelline membrane, a space is present. The space present around vitelline membrane is called as perivitelline space, where the polar body lies. You can see here the polar body is present. How the polar bodies get formed? It is because of first meiotic division of primary oocyte. So the polar body, it remains only here in the perivitelline space. So what I said, nucleus, cytoplasm, this is the vitelline membrane. Around vitelline membrane there will be perivitelline space which consists of first polar body. Around this perivitelline space there is a layer of cells is present, which is called as, actually it is a non-cellular layer which is called as zona pellucida. And this zona pellucida is surrounded by this layer of cells which is called as corona radiata. These cells of corona radiata are glued together. They remain stick to each other because of what? Because of presence of hyaluronic acid. I think you remember that an enzyme hyaluronidase is secreted by sperm head, by the acrosome, which bring about lysis of hyaluronic acid present here. Okay, so this is about the structure of unfertilized ovum or the egg. Once again, we repeat here. Nucleus called as germinal vesicle surrounded by cytoplasm. This cytoplasm is enclosed by a membrane called as vitelline membrane. Around vitelline membrane there is a space present called as perivitellar space consisting of first polar body. This vitelline membrane and perivitellar space is covered by this non-cellular layer called as zona pellucida, and it is covered by cellular layer of corona radiata. Cells of corona radiata are glued together by one of the acid called as hyaluronic acid. And this lysis or the breaking of hyaluronic acid takes place due to enzyme hyaluronidase, which is secreted by acrosome of the sperm. Okay, so this is all about structure of unfertilized ovum. Again, important for 2 or 3 marks. Remaining part of the topic we are going to continue in the next lecture.